Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Before we jump into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Let's get started. The Forrester mansion was unusually quiet, blanketed in a kind of eerie stillness that seemed to hum beneath the glossy perfection of its high-end decor. Eric Forrester sat alone in the den, swirling a glass of brandy he hadn't sipped in over an hour. The fire crackled, casting long shadows over the walls lined with photos of the family, proud, fractured, always on the brink of either reunion or destruction. He had just come from a late-night meeting at Forrester Creations. Something hadn't felt right. Numbers were off. Budgets didn't align. Eric wasn't one to micromanage the way Ridge did, but lately, his gut had told him something was bubbling beneath the surface, and it had Nick Marone's name written all over it. The reappearance of Nick in their lives had been like a forgotten storm cloud returning to pour all over Forrester harmony. He wasn't just Brooke's ex or Ridge's old nemesis. Nick had a knack for stirring chaos with a boyish smirk and pirate's charm. Eric had agreed to a partnership, a cautious move, an olive branch really. But now he wondered if the pirate had come to loot Dot earlier that day. Eric had gone digging, discreetly requesting a financial report Ridge hadn't seen. What he found chilled him. Offshore accounts, discreet wire transfers, lavish expenses that had no place in the company's books. Nick's name was scattered throughout like graffiti on a sacred wall. But what turned Eric's stomach wasn't the money. It was the name tied to the offshore account. Jack, his grandson, Brooke's son, Nick's son. Eric's hand trembled as he pulled up the final document again, reading it under the low light. The account had been set up in Jack's name, but Nick was the only one making deposits, large sums. Was Nick hiding money for his son's future, or using Jack as a cover to move funds unnoticed? Either way, it reeked of deception. As Eric's mind churned, a knock broke the silence. He didn't expect visitors. When he opened the door, there stood Katie Logan, confident, calculating, and always ready with an agenda disguised as concern. "I figured you'd be up," she said, stepping inside without waiting. "You always are when the family's imploding." Eric raised an eyebrow. "Is that what we're doing now? Imploding, isn't it always?" Katie flashed a half smile, dropping her purse on the couch. "I was actually hoping to talk to Taylor, but I heard she's staying with Steffi tonight, probably dodging reality, like always." Eric didn't take the bait. He gestured toward the couch, motioning for her to sit. "You didn't come here to see Taylor. You came to stir the pot." Katie chuckled. "Guilty. But I do have a question. About Nick." Eric stiffened. "What about him?" Katie's eyes narrowed. "He's been having secret meetings with a lawyer downtown. I only found out because Bill's private investigator caught a glimpse. And before you ask, no, I wasn't spying. Not officially. But when someone like Nick resurfaces with a grin and a vague business proposal, I get curious." Eric didn't say a word. He didn't have to. Katie picked up on the silence like a scent. Her eyes locked on his, and her tone dropped. "You found something, didn't you?" Eric hesitated. She was Brooke's sister, after all, and that gave her a stake in all of this, whether he liked it or not. "I found more than I wanted to," he admitted. "Nick's been rerouting funds, significant ones, and they're tied to Jack's name." Katie's face darkened. "So Jack's a pawn in whatever Nick's playing at?" "Possibly," Eric said. "Or worse, Nick's hiding something from Jack too." The air between them thickened, pulsing with the weight of betrayal. Katie stood and began pacing, her heels clicking against the marble floor. "You know Brooke can't know yet. Not until we understand what he's doing." Eric agreed silently. Brooke had barely recovered from Ridge's latest emotional whiplash. If she found out Nick might be laundering money using their son's name, it could destroy her. Again. Meanwhile, across town, Taylor Hayes was enjoying a moment of fleeting peace with Steffi and her grandchildren. But peace never lasted long in this town. When she checked her phone, she found a text from Katie. "We need to talk. Urgent. Not about Ridge." Taylor groaned. Of course, she excused herself and stepped outside to call her back, already preparing for another Logan ambush. Katie didn't answer. Instead, she texted again, "Come to Eric's tonight." By the time Taylor arrived, Katie had made herself a drink. The air between them was instantly cold. Taylor," Katie said with a fox sweetness, "you look concerned already." "How refreshing. Get to the point, Katie." "Why am I here?" "Because your new best friend Nick might be laundering money, and Eric found out first." Taylor turned to Eric. "Is this true?" Eric nodded grimly. "I have documents. Real ones. And I think Nick's using Jack's name to do it." Taylor was stunned. "No, Nick wouldn't." Katie cut in. "Don't do that. Don't defend him just because he's been whispering sweet things about your new age books and garden retreats. This is serious." Taylor's expression hardened. "Don't confuse my ability to listen with being naive." Katie stepped closer. "Don't confuse your need for a male ally with good judgment." "Enough," Eric thundered, his voice shaking the walls. "This isn't about you two. This is about the company, about Jack, and about Brooke, who has no idea any of this is happening." They fell silent. Taylor sighed, then finally asked the question they were all avoiding. "What do we do now?"